Hi, it's Kevin Bates here, and today I can't help but comment on the drop in the Bitcoin price recently. Lots of people seem to be worried about it. Personally, I've never let the market price of Bitcoin bother me because I'm in it for the long haul. And in particular, one thing I think that needs paying attention to is the fact that, unlike, for example, the mining of precious metals and the storage thereof in vaults, when it comes to Bitcoin, the ecosystem is growing. People are continuing to write code, to find applications, to produce programs that use the system. So the value of the system is just increasing over time. It doesn't decrease. And there's a parallel there with the internet and the web, in that more and more software is being produced that uses the internet. And when you look at the early days of the internet, and there was just email and then browsers and then Web 2.0, that's an ecosystem that grew and grew and grew and became capable of doing more and more stuff. So there's a parallel there with Bitcoin and blockchain, in that it's growing. It doesn't get smaller, it gets more not complicated, gets the ecosystem gets wider. There are more and more opportunities to do stuff arise, and things that were tricky in the early days become easier. And that is a particular key thing, I think, because it was the same with the internet. Back in the 90s, you had to be a pretty damn good programmer to be able to do stuff, and you had to understand TCP/IP, and you had to understand DNS, and you had to understand the simple mail protocol and things like that. You don't have to worry about that anymore as a programmer, because there are libraries out there that do that for you. And exactly the same thing's happening in blockchain. Stuff that 3-4 years ago required you to start digging around inside the bits and bytes and guts of the system now are abstracted, and you don't have to worry about them anymore, and you can actually concentrate on building things on top of the systems that actually do stuff. Look, for example, at Ethereum. It was totally incomprehensible to me 3 or 4 years ago, and now there are so many tools out there. It's got a properly developed integrated development environment and all sorts of stuff that you can deploy in order to do stuff, and there are plenty of sample smart contracts out there that you can pick and choose from in order to edit and do what you want. So this is just a blip. People who are obsessing over particular prices at particular times are not taking the long haul view, and just look what happened to people who didn't take the long haul view at the internet. They missed out. Anyway, that's a post on the blockchain ecosystem as it stands today and where I think it's going. I hope you found that interesting. See you in the next video soon. Bye for now.